Hi and welcome to another gaming video on my gaming section of my YouTube channel. And today's video, a little bit of an add-on, follow-on from the previous video. The dual screen of the DS and the 3DS makes it very difficult to port those games to newer consoles, regular consoles, purely because of the dual screen, and one of those is a touchscreen, and a lot of DS, 3DS games utilise the touchscreen. I covered that in a previous video, but what's going to happen to those DS and 3DS games when the cartridges wear out? They're not the most reliable of media. I've had games even now that don't work because the gold contacts on the back have been messed up, and then that game is lost. With the DSi and the 3DS, you've obviously got the option of installing custom firmware, which you can then install and play games directly on the console itself. That is going to be probably the main way of keeping these games alive, especially on the hardware that it's intended for. Running these ROMs directly on an SD card, or in terms of something like the DS, you can run them on a flash card, because the DS has no internal storage, that can't run custom firmware. So using something like an R4 card to play your games on is another option. Unfortunately, the R4 card is also a cartridge, so it has the gold pins, so they will wear out, whereas the DSi and the 3DS can actually run games directly on the system. So in terms of keeping these games alive, we need to rely on people ripping those ROMs off of the game cart itself, making them available for you to download directly onto your system. Not entirely legal. I think if you own the cartridge, even if it doesn't work, it's more viable for you to download it. It's more legal. It's a bit of a grey area there, but that is the only way I can see that we can preserve the whole of the DS and the 3DS game library, is by making those ROMs available for people to use. Going back to the previous video, porting them across to a suitable system, it would be another option. I mean, I know there was quite a few released on the Wii U. The Wii U had the nice big touch gamepad, which helped a little bit, but we are at serious risk of losing an entire 20 years of DS, DSi, 3DS games just purely because of the way they're designed. There's no other console previously that was built like the DS. As a huge fan of the DS range and the 3DS range, it is a bit of a concern of mine. Nintendo really need to either open up all of the games so that they can be preserved and kept, and those that want to play them in the future can, or they need to bring out another system that is backward compatible. So there you go. We need to make sure we don't lose an entire generation of games. Let me know what your thoughts are. Like, link, subscribe, enjoy.